pleasure to be here. Thank you. When I was a child, I always admired the way people made animation. It's what inspired me to draw. Like many of my team members at Mano Animation Studios, I spent long hours of my childhood watching films by Disney and famed Japanese animation studio, Studio Ghibli. They told simple stories in fantastical settings, or fantastical stories in simple settings. They helped me see the beauty in the mundane and the tragedy in the beautiful. TED is a place where some of the most amazing minds gather to share ideas and showcase their work in the TED Theater. I'm very fortunate to be able to attend TED to showcase my work. This particular encounter is from TED 2015. I was roaming around the Vancouver Convention Center with an overflowing portfolio filled with drawings, sketches, and storyboards, showing people my ideas for a hand-drawn animated film that had the potential to be the first of its kind in Pakistan. It was called The Glassworker. I had my TED conference app open and was desperately messaging attendees at the conference about my ideas for the animation and how I would like to meet them in person and discuss what I had in mind. All I wanted was some guidance. None of them responded. But why would they? They must receive crazy messages like this all the time. Deflated but not defeated, I decided to take a chance with one of the TEDx organizers from Japan, Mr. Patrick Newell. I said, Patrick, I have so many ideas for this animation, and Japan is the only place that will understand what I want to do. Please let me attend TEDx Tokyo. There was an uncomfortable silence. He was a little taken aback, but he smiled. Sure, he said. A few months later, I found myself in Tokyo. I was pinching myself as I walked through the streets. I couldn't believe this was happening. Japan has produced so many incredible animated films. I was wondering how the Japanese audience at TEDx Tokyo would react to someone from the other end of the world, from Pakistan of all places, coming to their country to learn about what drives them to make the beautiful art and animation that they do. I got up on stage and showcased my art and storyboards for the Glassworker. I spoke about what animation meant to me and how I longed to bring hand-drawn animation to Pakistan. How there is something incredibly beautiful about hand-drawn animation. It never looks obsolete. The beauty of the lines drawn and painted by the human hand cannot be replicated in today's obsession with computer-generated detail. To my relief, the talk was received wonderfully, with many people saying they were proud to see Japanese animation being appreciated in Pakistan. I got to visit some incredible animation studios in Japan. They were thrilled to see what I was trying to do and were eager to see the results. I got to go to Studio Ghibli, one of, if not the, most revered animation studio in Japan, and to me, the greatest animation studio in the world. It was a very emotional experience for me. But even more precious than the experience of seeing these brilliant studios and animators was the guidance that they offered me. How often do you get to share your work with your heroes? The more I saw, the more it began to dawn on me that this could be done in Pakistan. I arrived back home inspired. But how does one make a hand-drawn animated film in a country with no background in hand-drawn animation? I was trying to find the answer to this question myself. I began to further develop The Glassworker, a coming-of-age story about two children from separate walks of life, Vincent and Elise. One, an apprentice glassblower, learning from his father in their glass shop. The other, a prodigious violinist, struggling to find her own unique voice on the instrument. The film will follow both characters through their formative years as life gets more complicated and inhibits their relationship. In the West, the concept heart behind animation is usually a very collaborative process. You have a writer, a director, a storyboard artist, and a character designer working together to create the storyboards for the film. In the East, it is much more personal. It is expected of the director to draw their own storyboards and really guide the rest of the team towards the completed film. Since I was working alone during this time, I had no choice but to take up this approach. Here are some of my storyboards for the film. Every detail and shot is planned out for the animation team to help bring to life. Pakistan is full of so much potential and has so many gifted artists. What if I were to bring some of these artists under one roof? I searched online for like-minded artists, architects, animators, and we spread the word by holding workshops in art schools about what we wanted to achieve. We managed to gather a small team of incredibly talented professionals from the UK, South Africa, Malaysia, and of course, Pakistan. These are some of the team members. Excuse me. So it was again out of necessity that we began to form this studio, the very first hand-drawn animation studio in Pakistan, Mano Animation Studios. So to answer the question of how does one build a hand-drawn animation studio in a country with no background in hand-drawn animation, the truth is, because there is no such industry in Pakistan, there are no rules. And because there are no rules, there are no restrictions. And we took everything into our own hands. We set a Kickstarter goal of $50,000 and managed to make $116,000. Thank you. Not bad for a bunch of nobodies from Pakistan. I guess people were able to see the enthusiasm and sentiment behind the project. This really is a passion project, a love letter to hand-drawn animation. I would love to debut footage for the animation here at TEDxKL. A key part of our team is from Malaysia, so it's very special for us to be sharing this with you. Can we dim the lights?
प्यारे विंसेंट मुझे माफ़ करना, मुझे ख़त लिखते लिखते इतने दिन लग गए। पापा की पोस्टिंग हमें हर थोड़े अरसे बाद अपना शहर छोड़ने पे मजबूर कर देती थी। मेरा ख़त तुम्हें और ओलिवर साहब को कब पहुंचता, और अगर तुम्हारा जवाब आता तो क्या मैं उस शहर में होती भी या नहीं? बस इसी ख्याल से मैं तुम्हें कभी लिख नहीं सकी। जंग अब ख़त्म हो चुकी है और हम आखिरकार घर वापस आ रहे हैं। मुझे हमारे बचपन में साथ गुजरा हुआ वो हर लम्हा याद है। ओलिवर साहब की शीशे की दुकान, मेरा प्यारा वाटर फ्रंट टाउन, सब कुछ। तुम्हारी अलीज़।
Thank you. Completing this film will be a long and difficult journey, but I feel the team that we have formed is crazy enough to go on that journey. We want children in Pakistan to grow up knowing that if they enjoy art and animation, that there's a place that they can come and work where they will be appreciated and encouraged. I had remarked earlier that the film will follow both Vincent and Elise through their developing years as life gets more complicated and inhibits their relationship. The film will be set in a landscape with political unrest. I will be drawing from my own experiences and other people's experiences growing up in Pakistan. I didn't want to set the film in Pakistan. That would have been too direct. We wanted to do something a bit more subtle. I wanted to take a setting that animation audiences are more familiar with and inject it with Pakistani values and themes. The West so often takes characters from the East and westernizes them. I just thought it would be cool to take Western characters and make the landscape and living situation like Pakistan and make them speak in Urdu. Thank you. The film will subtly comment on the effects of war and conflict on children and just explore the bond between these two characters. Through our Kickstarter funds, we can now make 15 minutes of this film, but the final goal is to make a 90-minute feature. Pakistan has no hand-drawn animation industry, not yet. But with this film and Mano Animation Studios, we hope to lay the foundation for artists in Pakistan and beyond to come and work on beautiful works of art that they can be proud of. Thank you.